Where are we going?
Budapest.
Yeah! Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I am with my boyfriend and I'm so excited because we are going to one of my favorite cities in Central Europe, Budapest. Now we are at the train station, Bratislava main train station, and we are waiting to know the platform of our train and then we will go. We bought the ticket online. I think the price to go and come back was around 35 euros, just double than 3 years ago, I'd say. Amazing. Once there, we already have booked some activities for today. I cannot wait to show you. I am finally in Budapest. Now, if I know this city well enough, I will reach the hotel, the accommodation where we are staying, without checking the maps. I didn't tell you that I lived in Budapest in the past. I lived here for 6 months and I loved it. It was quite a few years ago during my studies, and I was here for an exchange program for 6 months. That's why I know how to move quite well in the city. And I love it so much. Since then, I have been back here quite a few times because Bratislava is just 2 hours and a half by train. So let's go. It's pretty warm, but I think it will be warmer tomorrow. I'm slightly worried. Here we are. That's our hotel, Easy Hotel. I definitely approve the building. Also, this one is not bad at all. I'm very curious to see how it is in the inside, especially the room. It should be a very simple hotel, but clean and cozy, and that's the most important for me. I thought it should stop. Oh yeah. What should I do now? I'm not sure what I should do now. Woo! I think now we will move on to the Parliament. As I was saying, it's our first real touristic stop of the day. Shall we go? This city is so beautiful that luckily we started going to the Parliament in advance just because we didn't have anything to do. Because I'm always stopping to make this video. I just cannot stop. Every time I come to Budapest, I'm so happy. I really love this city. It's so much bigger than Bratislava. I like Bratislava, as I said, but it's you cannot compare it to Budapest because Budapest is much bigger. So there is also just simply many more people that live here. And of course, there are way more tourists. There are way more attractions, famous historical buildings. Then it's also very famous for the spa, for the thermal baths. So it simply offers very different things compared to, for example, Bratislava, but it's also much different than Vienna, for example. It's maybe because I lived here, but I'd say it's my favorites, or at least one of my favorites among the Central European cities. I'm inside the Parliament. I just got paper tickets because you need to have paper tickets. So we are now queuing to enter, and we asked whether we could take pictures and videos, and she said yes, if it's for yourself, if you are not selling it basically for commercial use. So I hope I manage and that I can show you something, because this building should be Really, really beautiful, and it's actually the first time for me to go there. I've never been inside this building. We booked the 3 p.m. tour. It's very nice because you get audio guide and you can choose your own language. So I choose Italian, and soon we will go in. We just finished our tour at the Hungarian Parliament. As you can see, it's just there behind me. I really, really loved it. The tour lasts exactly 45 minutes. You are always accompanied by a guide, but they are not making the guide because you have the audio guide, as I said before. You can take pictures and videos in most rooms, not in all of them, but they will tell you when you cannot. And it's very interesting. And if you're traveling to Budapest, you should go to visit the Parliament building, but always book your tickets online in advance because, for example, today when we arrived, they were already sold out. I used to live in this street when I lived in Budapest. I don't remember exactly which building it is, but it must be one of those here. Very beautiful buildings. Indeed, the flat was pretty old. We are quite hungry now, right? So we are going to have a snack. I think it will be a very nice looking one. At least I hope it's also tasty. But when I saw that place on TripAdvisor, I said like, we must go there because like it looks too good. So I'm gonna show you what we have in a second. We got macarons, but this place is pretty special because they have many kinds of them. And of course, I had to take this beautiful unicorn. For those 5 macarons, we paid 2,850 Hungarian forints, which is a little bit more than 7 euros. So I'd say that it's not expensive because usually macarons, even in the supermarket, they can be very expensive. And I think in shops, they sometimes can be even 2-3 euros each. And we got 5 for 7 euros something. And of course, it's very, very sweet. I'm not like a lover of very sweet food, but I really wanted to try them and it's approved. Okay, so let's do the room tour straight away. So that's the door of the toilet that we will see shortly. The room is very small and cozy, but I know it was small. It's like a little cabin, I'd say. So orange is the main theme, obviously. There is the air dryer there, bad. That's the view. But this is quite good because you can put your stuff and you have enough space. Mirror, myself, TV. Here there are some hangers and our matching hats. And now we are gonna check this place. I think, yeah, mind the gap. It looks like a bigger Cannot find the light. Okay, without light. That's the toilet. We have the light. I think for 2 nights it's okay. It's almost dinner time. We are going to a restaurant that we booked. It's a bit early, but we will see if there is a space, if there is a table already available for us. If not, we will just walk around and wait for the table to be available. We arrived in this tapas place, so we can choose, like it's recommended to choose at least around 3 tapas per person. They are mainly Spanish, as you can see, but there is a bit of Italian and especially Hungarian. But mainly it will be Spanish. We got our first thing, we didn't order this, but they bring it to try it. He said it's salsa rosa, right? We have a deep fried calamari. I bet it's delicious. I will try it shortly. And this is ham croquetas. So there is ham and something else inside, I guess cheese or maybe potatoes. I'm not sure. I know there is a debate in between people that hate putting lemon on the fried fish. I like it, but it should be just 1 drop on each fish or 2 maximum. Now we have a pulpo alla gallega that my boyfriend ordered, and I ordered the spicy octopus, Neapolitan style. Look at this beautiful container, so original. I fell in love with this place a couple of years ago because of those, and as soon as the waiter brought them, the smell was just amazing. And then we also have here lamb chops. Last but not least, pistachio sorbet. Hopefully it's the same we had a couple of years ago, which was amazing. I am contemplating and admiring the beauty of this city. I have no words. I want to live here. Good morning. We just had breakfast in a very cute place. I had a pistachio croissant with a cappuccino with a nice drawing on it. Now we are at meeting point because we are gonna do a free tour. That is one of those tours that is very, very common, at least here in Europe. That you basically do for free, and then at the end of it you decide a price and basically you pay to the tour guide. This one will last 2.5 hours, and usually they are super interesting. The guides are super funny and give you a lot of information, historical, cultural. They also sometimes give you suggestions on where to eat and drink. So we will start in 10 minutes. This square, it's called Madame Imre Ter or something like that. It's very nice, and luckily there is shadow because today it's gonna be really, really hot. We already done a couple of stops in the tour. The first one was really interesting. The guide taught us some Hungarian words. Now for the pleasure of any Hungarian follower, Szia, which is quite easy, and it's hello. But then come the difficult ones like köszönöm or köszi, the short form, which is thank you. And very interesting one is egészségedre, which is cheers. Now we are in the central market in Budapest. It faces the Danube River. The free tour was really, really nice. I think it's worth it to do this kind of tours because they give you a lot of information. Another thing that it's worth visiting is this market. Just pay attention because it's closed on Sundays. So today it's Saturday afternoon, lunchtime, and it will close at 3 here. The guide told us that, well, of course there is food because it's a market, but there is also a lot of souvenirs. Usually we don't buy them, but she was explaining to us that especially the upper floor. So now, as you can see, I'm almost on the first floor. She said that souvenirs are a bit cheaper. I guess it's because like most people go downstairs and maybe not everybody comes here on the first floor. We stopped for lunch in a burger place because we were craving meat. We are now waiting for our order. So one interesting thing I discovered during the free tour is that, first of all, Budapest has actually 2 million people. I didn't expect it was so big. And also, because the city is divided in two parts, there is the Pest side and the Buda side. The Pest side has actually 1.5 million people, so most of them, and the other side has 500,000 people, which is basically the size of Bratislava, more or less, if I'm not wrong. Here is my huge hamburger. We also have here just the patty, and that's the menu option, so I cannot wait to try it. I think it will be pretty good. Our next stop was a Kürtős place. This is Kürtős. I think it has a longer name, but I don't know how it is. And in Slovakia, in Bratislava, it's called trdelník. I had it in one of my previous videos. So in this place, like, they are making it, and now I'm gonna try it. This is the simple one, I think, and the taste is vanilla. It's really tasty. I think I just chose one of my favorite buildings in Budapest. I just want to stay here for 1 hour. Now it's becoming quite hot. I think we are above 30 degrees, so under the sun it's pretty warm. But anyway, we are going to our next stop, which is the synagogue, and then we will see a very nice pub. Let's go. We arrived at the synagogue in Dohány Street in Budapest. This is the largest synagogue in Europe, and apparently it's also the second largest synagogue in the world. I really love those two towers. I feel like they have quite an Oriental style. I'm not sure all synagogues have this kind of detail. We are in Szimpla Kert now. It's Budapest's most famous ruin bar, and it's also, I would say, the world's most famous ruin bar. You have probably noticed that this place is a bit strange. It's because Budapest, basically, it's famous for this kind of pubs where they transformed older buildings, usually abandoned buildings, into pubs. And they did it by decorating them with random things. So, of course, there are plants, but there are a lot of random objects that are hanging from the walls, and it makes this kind of pub very peculiar. Szimpla Kert is the first pub, ruin bar, that was opened. I read it was opened by students in 2002, and it's the oldest one. Initially, they just opened it in the downstairs courtyard, in the internal garden, basically. But I guess they were successful because it gradually expanded to the rest of the buildings. It's the first time I come here during the day. I usually came here always in the evening, in the night. But I actually suggest to come here during the day because, of course, there is like natural daylight. And it's also very nice if you want to take pictures or videos, or if you just want to enjoy a drink here with a normal light. Sometimes when I came in the night, it was also extremely crowded. And sometimes you have to pay the entrance fee because maybe there is live music. And anyway, it's usually visited in the night because it's pub after all, it's bar. Today with our tour guide, she explained some very interesting facts about Hungary and the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. So basically, at the beginning, when the Austrians basically occupied Hungary, I think that was in the 19th century, and it was not a great time for the Hungarians because they were not like equal to them. And then, thanks to Sissi, which is a very important person for the Hungarian indeed, they became a double monarchy. So they started having two capitals. One was Vienna, of course, which was already the capital because that was the headquarters of the Habsburg, and Budapest, where we are now. So they really love her, even if she was not Hungarian. She was born in Bavaria, and they dedicated to her here in Budapest a lot of squares, streets, and statues. And also one thing that they really loved about her is that she fluently spoke Hungarian, and that's not easy because Hungarian is ranked third most difficult language in the world after Mandarin and Arabic. So some interesting facts about the Hungarian language. First of all, it's not an Indo-European language, it's a Uralic language, and that's why it's so different and so difficult compared to some other, let's say, European languages, which are Indo-European. It has 44 letters in the alphabet, of which 16 are vowels. So they have something like, I think, 4 U's, for example, or O. Another interesting spot we saw today was a former nuclear bunker. We didn't really see the inside because right now it's abandoned, it's not possible to visit, and it's not used anyhow, not as a bunker and not as something else. It was built during the communist times. It's actually quite common in post-communist countries to have bunkers in the cities or outside of the cities, and it was built in a way to let important people, in case of emergency, to use like the tunnels to protect themselves, of course, and to quickly reach the train station Keleti, which has and had as well in the past international trains, so that they could leave the country in a relatively short time. The guide said in around 2 hours. Lately, I'm obsessed with all kinds of Mediterranean architecture, design, etc. So in this case, it's more Arabic. This is a Lebanese Moroccan restaurant. I actually think I know what to get. Probably the chicken tagine. So we have couscous starting from the right, chicken tagine, and then rice, and I don't know exactly what it is, the other thing. Good morning, guys. Today our first stop is Hero Square, that you can see right behind me. We came here with metro line number 1, which is the first, oldest electric metro in continental Europe, and the second oldest one in the world after the London Underground. This metro was built at the end of the 19th century. That was exactly 1000 years from the beginning, from the foundation of the Hungarian nation. Hero Square is one of the biggest and most prominent squares in Budapest. It features the very famous Millennium Monument that you can see behind me, which features the 7 chieftains, like the captains basically of the Hungarian tribes, as well as other old Hungarian leaders. So I'd say we can go and check it out. We are now going to explore the Vajda Hunyad Castle, built in 1896, a very important date for the Hungarian people because that's the 1000-year anniversary from the foundation of the Hungarian nation. This is a copy of the Hunyad Castle, also known as Corvin Castle, that is located in Romania and is located in the city park of Budapest that we are now going to explore. After Hero Square, we came to have breakfast/lunch in this place, which looked really nice, and it's good because it has vegan options, gluten-free options, sugar-free options, etc. So I think I'm probably gonna go for the spirulina granola bowl. I got my spirulina bowl. It looks amazing and so aesthetic. Our second touristic stop of the day is the Fisherman Bastion that we are about to reach. It is a beautiful building complex located on top of a hill in the Buda side of Budapest, and it's very famous not only because the building itself is beautiful, it resembles the Disney logo, but it's older and more beautiful, but also because there is a terrace from which you have a great panoramic view of the Pest side of the city, especially the Parliament, which is right in front of it, and a lot of beautiful buildings in the Pest side of the city. It was also built as many other complexes and buildings in Budapest in between the end of the 19th century and beginning of the 20th century. It has 7 turrets. I think you need to pay a fee to enter those, while the terrace is completely free, and they represent the 7 Hungarian personalities which founded modern-day Hungary. I was just checking the price of this place, from which you have basically the best Buda view, and to be honest, yes, of course they're not the cheapest, but to be in the Fisherman Bastion with that kind of view compared to some other places I've visited, not only here in Budapest, but even in Bratislava, just like normal restaurants, I think it's more than acceptable. Finally, we reached one of the terraces of the Fisherman Bastion. As you can see, the view from here is beautiful, and you can admire the whole Pest, and that's the Parliament where we were yesterday. In this painting in St. Stephan Basilica, you can see the famous coronation crown, Hungarian coronation crown. We saw that in the Parliament, but in that room I was not allowed to take pictures. And that is the original, around 1000-year-old crown that Hungarian kings used. Our last stop of today and also of this Budapest trip was the interior part of St. Stephan's Basilica and also its terrace. An interesting fact about this basilica is that once they almost finish its constructions around 1860s, the dome completely collapsed and fell. So the construction works stopped for a few years. Then they assigned the works to another architect, which completed the works, and now the church looks as it looks today. We entered in the church. The ticket in euros more or less amounts to 15 euros, and it includes both the interior of the church as well as the terrace, which is located 65 meters high. It gives you a 360-degree panorama all around Budapest. The last stop of our trip is this gluten and lactose-free place, where we just got those amazing burgers. I got chicken burger, and my boyfriend had beef burger with potatoes and coleslaw salad. Looks delicious. That's the end of my 3-day trip to Budapest. Hope you guys like this video. Please leave it a thumbs up and do not forget subscribing to my channel for additional videos each week. This would really help me. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!